What's going on, everyone? Yes, today is another toy review, and yes, the man that stands in front of you is Dio Brando from the epic anime / manga JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, this particular version of Dio is from the very first arc, which pretty much gives the whole origin of Dio himself. Now, just to let you know, this toy is actually made by Medicos Super Action Statue line. If you never had one of these figures from this toy line, I'm going to tell you right now, they do an immaculate job. Their paint job, their likeness to the character is pretty much spot on. So, go ahead and let you know, if you never had one of these figures, definitely might want to look into them a little bit more, find out the background of the story to kind of get yourself interested and definitely jump right in. Now, just to give you a little bit of backstory about Dio himself, he's pretty much a problem child from the jump, and he gives the protagonist, which is Jonathan Joestar, a living hell in so many words. Not to give too much away, just know that he's definitely a very unique character through the JoJo Bizarre Adventure storyline, from the very first arc all the way to the third arc. It's a very cool character and very different. So let's go ahead and look at the detail of good old Dio. So very first, right off the back, as always, we're going to go through a full 360. I'm going to go ahead and zoom up a bit. Oh, as far as I can go. This figure absolutely looks amazing. I'm talking about the details are just great. It's really, really good detail. Paint job is immaculate. And you can pretty much tell that Dio has a very odd style of clothing. Pretty much all of the JoJo toy line has a very unique style of clothing. So that is your front. Here's your side. And if you look at the hair, how it's layered, it's definitely nicely sculpted. The shirt has amazing wrinkles in it. The buttons on the clothing is nice and clean paint job, no smudges. And his skin tone has some nice darks and highlights in it just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. You can see the darker purples in the purple pants and the highlights as well. And even the dirty yellow on the shoes all the way up to the lighter yellow, or gold rather. Now coming back up, here's the back view. And I must say, I only own 3 JoJo figures, but I've been knowing about JoJo for quite a while, ever since high school. JoJo is definitely a very old storyline. Most people just now hearing about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure due to the fact of the new animated series that been going on lately, which is actually really good. The first time I seen it, I didn't really care for it too much, just because I didn't really like the art. But as you watch them, the art kind of grows on you and actually gets better throughout the season. And not only that, it's very true to the manga. Not necessarily the art itself, but just the story. Like, they keep it very true to the manga. So that is your full 360 of good old Dio. Now I'm gonna zoom back, show you some height comparison. And let's bring Dio back a bit. Here's Jonathan, which Dio stands a little bit taller than Jonathan. And not only that, he actually got him beat by hair and shoulder. So that is the height of Dio. And then to a Figma figure, here's Guts. And a Figma figure is definitely smaller than this toy line. Which is really nice about these 2 figures standing side by side, is that this is exactly how it was. Dio is definitely was a larger character in the storyline, so they definitely even added that height into the figures, which is always a good thing. They kind of keep it true. So as for the accessories that Dio gets, he gets pretty much a set of 3 hands and 1 extra special hand. Alright, so you get the hands that you see on him right now, which I'm going to go ahead and zoom up real quick for you. Bring him in. He gets like this kind of like relax / action hands. Both hands are completely different. So even though they look the same, they're still molded slightly different. So you're going to get those. And let me see if I can get any close for you. Like I said, the hand scope is extremely nice. They look really good. You can even see the lines and knuckles. Alright, so you get that. You're going to get some sprawled out action hands, which looks like this. You're going to get a right and a left. Most JoJo figures all come with this style hand because the characters are very animated. And what I mean by that, they do a lot of weird poses in the middle of talking, things of that nature. They're kind of known for it, so it's not a surprise. But there's both hands there. You're going to receive good old choppy hands, which is really nicely done. Even the paint job, like you see the nice flesh tones and the knuckles. Everything looks really good. You're going to get 2 ball fist hand. This is your default hands that come on the figure in the box. Nothing special, just a ball fist, which for the most part looks really nice. And then you get the one special hand that I was speaking about. This hand here is meant for this accessory, which is a rose, which is also nicely sculpted. Really nice details, nice coloring, not sloppy, looks good. You pretty much place it in the hand and he holds on to it. Alright, so that is really nice. The other accessory that you're going to get is actually part of him, is a severed head. Now, the thing about Dio, if you don't know, Dio is actually a vampire. There's a reason why he's a vampire, and it tells you in the very first story how he actually becomes this. But he is a vampire, and pretty much a situation occurred where his head was severed from his body. And these little tentacle things you see can actually attack you, which he did do. Now, this looks amazing. Not only this is cool because it's part of the actual story itself in the anime and the manga, what's really nice is that they actually put a little hole there. So you can actually capture the moment that was in the anime / manga. So this is really cool, which I will be showing you an example of how that actually looks. I was telling y'all a while back how much I really love JoJo stands. And I don't mean the actual stand like in the 3rd arc. I'm talking about like an actual physical stand for the toy. The stand is really dope. And I'm going to show you exactly why I consider it so fucking dope. So, let's go ahead and zoom back a bit. Now, before getting into articulation, I'm going to show you real quick what I mean. I just went ahead and just do it. So, if you notice, you have 2 stands coming out of one stand. Well, 2 arms coming out of one stand. What's cool about this, I'm going to focus real quick. This can dissect itself into pieces. So, technically, one stand comes like this with a blank version with no hole attached to it. So you can display one character. In this case, you can actually pull them apart and display 2 characters now. So what I mean by you can get hella creative and actually reenact moments in the story. You can sit there, take his head, and it should fit. And it does. Goes on like that. So now you got his head like floating and shit. And then you can actually take good old Jonathan, if you wanted to. Let's see if I can get it on there. I'm not going to do no real cool pose because I still have shit to show y'all. But I'm just giving y'all an example. So, you can actually make it where Jonathan is trying to like dodge or some shit. Or, you know, trying to get the fuck back from Dio and his weirdness. So you can actually have him like that, dashing back, and the head is like coming at him on some weird shit. But you can balance it, and clearly, if you notice, it holds up really well. Don't need no support. That's what I like about these stands. Hands down, period. I cannot express enough how cool these particular stands are. They're fucking amazing. So, beyond all that, let's get into the figure itself. Very last part, let's get into articulation. So the way I feel about good old Dio, I actually like Dio design along with He even feels more proportionate in body parts. I was looking at both of the figures, making sure I wasn't tripping and thinking that Jonathan had like crappy proportions. And in a way he does, in a way he doesn't. All the limbs seem to match up to Dio's. The only difference is Dio doesn't have that really wide, awkward body. So he actually just looks dead on when it comes to anatomy, where Jonathan is really massive and his waist seems a little bit shorter by like the look, and he just looks weird. So he looks great, but he just looks weird to me, maybe because I'm just really big on anatomy, but whatever. The thing is, this figure looks a lot better in my personal opinion. Now, further as the posability, his head can clearly, let's get it focused, can do a full 360. It's on a hinge. He can go about that far forward looking down. He can go about that far looking back. So practically zero going back, just because his long ass hair gets in the way. His neck does have a joint on it. It's kind of odd. I don't really like the factor that that opens up and you pretty much see under his neck. I think he had a choker. Besides all that, it's okay. So now going down further, he does lose one part of articulation that Jonathan has, which is kind of fucked up. Let me go ahead and fix this camera. So the thing is, he doesn't have the whole shoulder door hinge style like Jonathan. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just in case, let me go ahead and focus real quick. Jonathan can push his arms forward or back. And there's a nice little clicky noise to let you know that it's in place and lock really well. So Dio does lose that feature. Why? I don't know. It's kind of odd that they took that feature away, because I mean, for these figures it works really well, but he does not have that particular feature. Now he can do a full 360. His arms on a hinge, they go out very nice. Okay, so really nice range, so you don't really lose much, to be honest with you. Let me go ahead and focus real quick. There we go. That's what I'm saying. Look at the detail. I know it's just crazy how good it looks. Anyway, the thing is, you go down a little bit further to the top of the bicep, you get a swivel, full 360 if you like. You get double jointed elbows, double ball joint elbows actually. You can rotate even at the top of the joint or below the joint, either or. What's nice is that you can actually bend it here, then you can bend it again. Really close. This is a damn good bend. Nicely done too. And the elbow is actually sculpted by itself. So it's actually a separate piece. These can snap off. Do they fall off? No, they're actually very secure. So I wouldn't worry about it. Now going down to the wrist. The wrist peg has a hinge and is on a standard peg, which you can spin the joint around if need be. You can also spin the hand around if need be. It's easy to remove the hands because they're just on a straight peg. So it's really easy. You might still want to be careful because one thing I do notice about, I don't know if it's on just the newer ones, because I notice it more with the newer figures and like this one and Jonathan, the joints seem kind of flimsy to me. I haven't had no problems out of it, but I just say be careful. That's really it. As for your abdomen section, he goes about that far leaning. He goes about that far back, which is okay. What I do like, it's still nice and seamless. Like, it looks good. Leaning to the side, that's how much range you get. You can do a full 360 if need be. What's nice about this is that the way they casted the little straps, they're close to the body to actually look like they're on the body, but they're not, except for like an angle like that, of course, and you can clearly see it's not attached to the body, but it doesn't look bad. It looks really good. At least I still like it. Going down to his waist, that is also on the ball joint, get about that much range, which is really nice. Go about that far forward, which is practically zero. Go back quite a bit. Also really nice the fact that they keep the paint job going. Even when you don't see it, it's still painted, which that's always great because they wasn't lazy and just left that shit like skin tone. So once again, these figures are really, really well done. Now going down to the pelvis, me and my boy always speak about this. I talk to him about this a lot. I am like the most evil, that's not even a word. I am the most evil bastard when it comes down to their hip joints. I actually hate them. I don't like them due to the fact that you can barely even get the legs to go out. So that is probably the only downer that you will hear me speak about on these figures. I actually hate these a lot. Further as kicking forward though, perfectly fine. They go high enough. Going back, it's okay. I mean, not too many toys can go back anyway, so it doesn't matter. Going down a little bit, this actually is on the swivel. Okay, so this is nice. His knee, double ball joint like his elbows, go pretty far back. He does get a larger range on the knee bend than Jonathan, due to the fact that Jonathan boots are like fucking massive. So that's one plus, and this is another reason why I like this figure. It just looks better. I don't know. Going down to the ankle itself, you go about that high up, about that far down. Both figures can do that really, really well. I do like his feet is a little bit wider than Joseph. Well, not Joseph, I'm sorry, Jonathan. So it's actually much better and easier when it comes down to actually standing him up. I like this a lot more. The toe bend is really nice. It's definitely more sturdy. It's not so flimsy. On Jonathan and Joseph, they pretty much have really, really tiny feet. So I actually like this a lot better. The fact that his feet is a lot larger. But that is all of the review about this figure. So once again, I must say that this figure is amazing. I like it a whole lot. For you people that was kind of wondering how was this figure going to be, hope this review actually help you out on your choice. I will say pick him up. I don't say that much about figures, or I feel kind of like on the fence about some figures. These figures I actually like a lot. They offer a lot. They look fucking amazing. So everything about these figures I really, really enjoy. Also, I am going to get that Shinji from Parasite. So definitely look forward to that review coming up, because I will be doing a review on that. I'm looking more forward to that figure than anything. So beyond all that, hope you enjoyed the reviewing shits, and definitely make sure you come back, check out more stuff. Once again, thank you. Thank you a lot. Take care.